friends, Miss Weber here. Today we're going to talk about character relationships. You're going to learn that in a book, the main character isn't the only important part. Let's go off to the movies. We all know the movie Frozen. It's about Elsa. But is she the only character? No. There's Anna and Olaf and Kristoff and Sven and many more. Today I want to teach you that readers don't just get to know the character who is the star of the story, they get to know other characters too. When you learn about other characters, you end up knowing the main character even better. I want you to make sure that you pay attention to other characters too. You might be wondering, how do I learn about the other characters in a book? To learn about the characters in a book, you need to pay attention to the relationships that they have with the main character. I know in the last reading video with Mr. Berman, you read a little bit of Mr. Putter and Tabby Drop the Ball. Well, today we're going to read Chapter 2, The Team. Mr. Putter found his mitt. Now all we need is a team, he told Tabby. Mr. Putter called his friend and neighbor, Mrs. Teaberry. Mrs. Teaberry would know about a team. She was very sporty. She even walked the dog-a-thon with her good dog Zeke. Of course there's a team, said Mrs. Teaberry. It's called Yankee Doodle Dandies. Am I too old to play? Asked Mr. Putter. Heavens, no, said Mrs. Teaberry. Handing Zeke a sniffy bone, you will feel young on that team. Will my knees feel young on that team? Asked Mr. Putter. You are not too old, and neither am I, said Mrs. Teaberry. We'll both play. Mr. Putter hung up the phone. I hope I'm not too old, he said to Tabby. Tabby just purred. To her, Mr. Putter was perfect. So let's think. What did we learn about the characters in this book so far? Well, we know Mr. Putter is the main character. We know that he loves to nap. He's old and he thinks he's old, and he wants to exercise more. But what other characters are in this book? Well, there's Tabby, his cat. Tabby also loves to nap. Tabby is an old cat. Tabby's kind of lazy. She just wants to nap. She loves Mr. Putter, and she's a happy cat. How do I know all this? Well, I know that she loves to nap and that she's old because in Chapter 1 it said that. I know that she's lazy because in Chapter 1 she didn't want to wake up. I can tell that she's a happy cat who loves Mr. Putter because she purrs at Mr. Putter. What did we learn about Mrs. Teaberry? She was a new character in this chapter. Well, we learned that she is Mr. Putter's neighbor, she's sporty, and she feels young even though she's not. When you are reading, I want you to pay attention to speaking words like said Mrs. Teaberry, or asked Mr. Putter, or shouted Iris, or whispered Walter. Authors use these words to tell you who is talking and how they are talking. When you're reading, make sure you're using those words to help you use expression. When you're reading, use voices and faces and movements to help you become the character. The more expression you use, the more you're going to get to know that character and you'll understand how they're feeling in the story. You can reread to sound like the character. The more you go back and reread, the more you're going to know how the character is feeling and the relationships that that character has with the other characters in the book that you're reading. While you're reading, there are things that I want you to remember. Readers meet characters along the way. They learn about the characters. They learn about what the characters say and do, and they learn about who the character is and what that character likes and doesn't like. But readers also pay attention to other characters too, not just the main character. They get to know each character in the story, and that way they get to know the main character even better, and they get to know the whole story even better. Characters are the most important part of the story. When you read about each character, you also learn how they feel about the other characters. Maybe the main character really likes this character. Maybe the main character isn't so friendly with a character. These things that you learn help you understand the whole story. So what can you do when you're practicing at home? Well, practice reading to a family member, or if they're all busy with school and work, read to a stuffed animal or a pet. Look for those words like asked or shouted that tell you how a character is feeling, and then reread that sentence using that character's emotion. Sometimes the characters are doing a lot, but they aren't saying or thinking much. When this happens, readers must invent what the character might say or think. It's your job as the reader to figure out what they're doing and how that makes them feel. Use expression to understand the characters more. Thank you for learning about character relationships with me today. I'll see you later.